The dual language immersion program started 3 years ago. Actually, the planning started a little bit before that, but it was 3 years ago when in the fall that we had started. And I wasn't exactly sure the first year what to expect, how it would look, what would happen for the children. It was kind of new to me as well. But it was really, really exciting to watch what I've now begun to see as sort of the development of children as they come into the program as kindergartners and sort of the journey that they take as they're going through the year. And watching children who, some have no English, no Spanish at all in their backgrounds, and having to come in and experience the first few days of school completely in Spanish. Kindergarten could be sometimes, like a huge experience, and then now it's in another language. And those children who Spanish may be their native language and coming in and maybe they're feeling much more comfortable because it is in Spanish. But watching sort of how the teachers have to, through pictures and actions and repeating and songs, that in a short period of time, really, in like 4 to 6 weeks, the children are understanding the routine, they're understanding what the expectations are in the classroom, they're beginning to start to respond in simple Spanish, and then even by mid-year, how much Spanish they're already understanding and how much they're starting to produce. And this is just in kindergarten, so it's been really, really exciting to see that sort of where that process is, and even sometimes by the end of the kindergarten year, they're even trying to translate for their parents, those parents who don't speak Spanish. And we have a policy, especially in kindergarten, where the teachers don't speak any English in front of the students, because we want them to really feel like this is an immersion experience, and we want them to really see their teachers as the Spanish speakers and to speak with them in Spanish. And so it's really exciting when you see this little, 5.5-year-old or almost 6-year-old who's trying to translate for a parent. So it's been really interesting for me as an educator and also someone with a degree and a background in special education to think about how that language development is processed and what is happening as a result of them being in a program like this, how much richer it is for them, what's happening in terms of learning to read and write. And things that really surprised me is, especially by first grade, many of the children, as they were learning to read in Spanish, started to take what they knew about reading and applying it to English, even though there's very little English taught in first grade. At that point, it's still 80-20, so most of the day is in Spanish. And yet children were starting to read on their own in English because they were transferring, without formal instruction necessarily, transferring what they were learning from the Spanish into the English. And so that was really exciting, because I thought, oh, it's going to take a lot longer, or it's going to be a lot harder. And no, they did a great job. So it was really it's been interesting at each grade level to see. Kindergarten has certain challenges, first grade might have other challenges, second grade may have a different challenge, so it's been interesting each year to see what those new challenges are as we were growing, but at the same time then to be able to say, okay, well, I know what we need to do for kindergarten now, or I know what we need to do for first grade now, so that's been helpful. The other challenge with the program, which has been, kind of ties in, I think, with our literacy themes, is trying to find really good literature for children to read that's in Spanish. So that's still one of our challenges, because we have lots of literature available for children that's fun to read in English, and we want to make sure that their Spanish is developing as well as their reading in English. So that's still been a challenge, some of those kinds of books in that aspect. Teachers have to do a lot of really creative stuff themselves, creating materials. So that's another area, and I'm just fortunate that we have a great staff that works really hard and is very dedicated and is willing to pull a lot of stuff together to make the program work.